Like me, Joe knew that more stories needed to be told, and more veterans of SOG's cross-border missions deserved recognition. Joe spent several more years expanding his research to track down and interview numerous veterans, not only our Green Beret recon and hatchet force men, but crewmen from our troop-lift helicopters and helicopter gunships, fighter pilots, and many other participants in SOG's top-secret world. Ask anyone who ran recon in SOG, and you'll be told their lives were saved by courageous aviators. They had to be included, too. Thanks to the internet, Joe networked to find men not heard from since 1971 and, through them, found still more witnesses and participants. Assisted by Robert Dumont, his co-author and editor, Joe assembled these voluminous transcripts and then masterfully weaved them into coherent, complete stories, a true oral history. Their book is well organized, well edited, and its stories well told. Rich in first-person accounts, they describe some of SOG's most dramatic operations from multiple perspectives: ground commanders, team leaders, helicopter pilots, forward air controllers, medics, and SOG's warriors. The resulting stories flow smoothly, almost seamlessly. Parnar and Dumont held their narrations and explanations to the absolute minimum, largely letting the stories tell themselves. What especially impressed me is that the men Joe interviewed did not thump their chests or pat their own backs. After fighting alongside men you respect, witnessing their courage, their selflessness, and, tragically, their losses, you cannot help but learn humility. No better example of this is Joe Parnar himself. Joe risked his life many times to save the lives of our wounded, often exposing himself to the same enemy fire that had hit them. He was wounded 3 times. Yet, it is others that this book features. Nothing tells of Joe's humility so sincerely as when he cleaned the body of John Keddenberg, who had given his life to save a teammate and already was destined to receive the Medal of Honor posthumously. Washing his body and preparing him for shipment back to the States, Joe wrote, is the greatest honor I have ever had. Thank you for this book, Joe. You're a fine man. John L. Plaster, U.S. Army Special Forces, MACV-SOG, 1968 to 1971. Author's Preface. FOB2 Kontum is a collection of narrative accounts of MACV-SOG operations originating at FOB2 Command and Control Central, CCC, from April 26, 1968, through April 10, 1969. These operations took place both in-country and across the fence into Cambodia and Laos, near the tri-border area of the Central Highlands. It is not a comprehensive account of every mission carried out during that time period, nor are the authors asserting these were necessarily the most significant ones. Each mission, however, was noteworthy in its own right. The narratives are primarily based on information obtained by the authors following publication of SOG Medic, Joe Parnar's personal story of his time with the Studies and Observation Group, SOG, which closely corresponds to the time frame for this new book. Although there is some carryover, FOB2 Kontum differs greatly from SOG Medic, which was entirely told from Joe's viewpoint. That book detailed his reasons for enlisting in the Army, his Special Forces training, and his experiences with SOG during the Vietnam War. It was very much an I book. In some of the missions recounted herein, Joe was a participant and contributes his own version of events in concert with others who were likewise participants. Other missions on which he was not present were